We are Friday, May 1st, day 121. When your faith compels God's yes. But without faith it is impossible to please him, for he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. Hebrews 11:6. There is a potent, almost audacious declaration one may hear. If your faith says yes, God cannot say no. Initially, this assertion might sound startling, suggesting an almost unbelievable power residing in human belief. However, as we meditate deeply on the Word of God, we realize the profound truth embedded in this statement. Our faith possesses the ability to move the heart and action of God in ways that align with His purpose, compelling a response that might otherwise be withheld. Consider two powerful biblical examples illustrating how extraordinary faith overrides perceived divine limitation or timing. First, recall the woman whose daughter was grievously ill. When she approached Jesus, the text indicates that Jesus initially ignored her pleas. Even as the disciples urged Jesus to dismiss the persistent woman, he responded with a seemingly harsh assessment. It is not fit to give the food meant for the children to the dogs. This statement reflected a protocol, a sense that the provision intended for Israel, the children, should not yet be directed elsewhere. But the woman's response was laced with an incredible humility and unflinching faith. Yes, Lord, but even the dogs can eat the scraps that fall from the children's table. Jesus' reaction testifies to the power she wielded through belief. He exclaimed, "Wow, my God, I've never seen such faith." In that moment, Jesus declared, "Go, be done unto you according to your faith." What happened? Jesus broke protocol. He acted outside the precise boundaries he felt he was supposed to observe at that moment. He did something he initially felt he ought not to do, something contrary to his immediate inclination. Yet the woman's faith compelled his answer to be yes, resulting in her child's immediate recovery. Her faith moved him to act where he was ready to say no. Similarly, observe the miracle at the wedding in Cana. When the wine ran out, Mary appealed to Jesus, who initially resisted, stating, "Okay, why are you telling me? How does this concern me? You know it's not yet my time." Jesus indicated that the moment for his public revelation had not yet arrived. Offered this instruction to the servants, Mary did. "Look, whatever this guy tells you, anything my son asks you to do, do it." She knew that the solution required only Jesus to move. Because of Mary's faith, her certainty that Jesus was the solution, he acted. He performed a miracle that was not yet on his scheduled timeline. At an unlikely venue, Jesus was saying, "No, it's not yet my time." But Mary's faith moved Jesus' plan actions forward. When faith acts decisively, God responds. This is the principle. Without faith, it's impossible to please God. If we desire to truly honor and please him, we must operate by faith. Perhaps the reason we are not experiencing the fullness of what God intends for us is that we are hesitant to step out in genuine belief. We must confront the obstacles ahead. We recognize the mountains and the challenges that appear insurmountable. But when we anchor our gaze not on the size of the enemy, but on the immutable character of God, faith ignites. Think of David facing Goliath. David knew he was outmatched physically and militarily, but his eyes were fixed on God. That focus, that active faith, is what brought Goliath down. There is nothing you cannot achieve when your focus remains on the Lord. The Bible assures us, to them that believe, all things are possible. Speak to that mountain, command it to move, and refuse to harbor doubt in your heart. What you have asked for, you will receive. Good morning, God-backed kings and queens. Step out today knowing this. God is for you. God is with you. He sees you and he loves you immensely. You're God-backed. I mean, this is great. Like we have to be reminded that faith moves all. Faith does all at the end of the day. Faith is the connection we have to Jesus, right? If we don't have that, essentially we've severed our connection. We've severed our way to heaven. We've severed our way with the relationship and a conversation with God. You know, Jesus said, if you had faith even of a mustard seed, you could command the mountain to move. You'd say, "Hey, mountain, you move," and it would move. So we have to remember, like, it's not about the size of the faith, it's about the presence of the faith. And I think where it says here, what does it say? It says not to look at how big your enemy, but how big your God is. I may be wrong, but I think that was King David speaking. But yeah, we have to remember that, it doesn't matter how big our enemy is. We have to remember how big our God is. This is what truly makes a difference. And when you look at it that way, you're essentially telling the devil and your enemies and your inner thoughts and everything, you'll be like, yo, you don't know, you have no idea who's backing me, man. Like, you guys don't even know. My God, he can do anything. He's omnipresent, he's all-knowing, he stands outside of space and time, he's all-powerful, he's all-doing, and he loves me. The Father sent down his Son to die for me. I am that special. So whatever plans you guys think you have to thwart my goals and my purpose, it's not gonna fly. It's not gonna work. And that unshakable faith is what brought Goliath down. So keep that faith within you, and you'll be good.